Let me open up my camera and everything and close this window and get this party started. Hey, what's up, everyone? I got kicked the fuck out. Oh, pardon my vernacular. I got kicked out of my internet. I don't know what happened there. I was going to tell you guys that my neighbor found out his house and I was burning his electricity, but I didn't want you to believe that. But anyway, my friend Patty J's on the line. Say hi, Patty. Hi. All right, she's on the cell phone. Okay, so we're gonna get this party started. You want me to call you back or? Yeah, call me later. All right, we'll do. All right, my dear friend, be safe out there and this norm. Okay. All right. All right, later. All right. All right. So, hey, Luscious Journey and 10 Moss Farmers in the house. Let me give you guys some love. You know, Luscious, thank you so much, my baby girl. Always good to see you. And then thank you, my brother, Chin Moss Farm. I appreciate you for showing up, my dear. And thank you guys. You guys are, let me tell you this before I get off into my sabbatical here. First, I got kicked off. My Wi-Fi shut down. It froze me out. So I had to kind of restart all my stuff again. And thank you guys for your patience. But all these people, like the two that I have on here right now, check out their channels, please do, because I always talk about mind, body, spirit, and they are into growing fruits and vegetables, which I think is very conducive to your health, because we're going to talk about mind today. And this is what these two are son and Luscious and Chain Moss Farm. Hope I'm pronouncing it right. They, you know, from the dirt to the plate, you know. Farmers markets if you can. All right, so let's get into this real quick here. Now, the reason why I pulled this video up is because this person here is shooting here. I guys to listen to this here. Let me see. This is just dogged down my page here. I want you guys to listen to this here because I want you to understand on this one here. And so we talk about the videos that we see with the news is talking about.
Deion Patterson, the 24-year-old accused of.
Let me see if this is the one. This is one first.
More about the accused gunman. Patterson was a member of the U.S. Coast Guard until recently.
Now I'm gonna let you guys listen to this whole thing. Okay, I want you to listen to this whole thing, and I'm going to tell you the problem I have with this particular, and it's not just this particular news network. Other news networks were actually saying the same thing, and this is where I want to listen to the whole thing here.
Fulton County Jail.
Let me start
Tonight
it over.
we're learning more about the accused gunman. Patterson was a member of the U.S. Coast Guard until recently.
Fox 5's Christopher King joins us.
Now, when I say this, he was a member of the Coast Guard until recently. What does that mean? He was kicked out. Did he have an honorable discharge? Now, see, I want you to see where this is going. Now, what does it make him seem like? He was a member of the Coast Guard until recently. And again, I'm not saying what he did was justified. What we're talking about is mental health here. Okay, here we go. Check this out.
From the Fulton County Jail, where Patterson is expected to arrive sometime tonight. Christopher, documents show he's had previous run-ins with the law, right?
Now, member of the Coast Guard discharged recently. We don't say why he was discharged, and now we're saying now he has a background. Like, okay, now I want you to pay attention to this. Watch this stuff. This stuff here. Here we go. Come on.
That's right, Russ and Christine and Deion Patterson will end up right here at the Fulton County Jail. Patterson was, of course, a member of the Coast Guard until recently, and authorities say he's also had previous run-ins with the law.
Now, notice how he reinserted that. He was a member of the Coast Guard until recently, and he's had multiple run-ins with the law. So do you think he was physically, he was dishonorably discharged from the military? Is that what they're saying? We don't know, but it's making him like, you know, this is what it is. Now, again, I'm not justifying what he did was right. What he did was a grievously wrong. Wrong. All right. Now I'm just getting down to the fact of what made him get there. What, because I talk about this a lot because full disclosure, and I tell you guys this all the time, is that I am a member, I am a veteran who has to be responsible about getting myself in check. But we want to see what happened. Okay, here we go.
Guard confirms Deion Patterson entered the service in July 2018. He served as an electrician's mate, second class. The Coast Guard discharged Patterson from active duty in January.
January. No, this was in the. I hope this internet don't shut off on me again. Yeah, in Atlanta, Georgia, luscious sweetheart. Yeah, this happened at a hospital. This gentleman was in the waiting room at a hospital, and according to the records, he became agitated. Now, this is another question. I don't think he was at a VA hospital, or maybe he was at a VA hospital, and maybe they weren't giving him the medication he thought that he should have. And apparently he was frustrated by that, and he ended up pulling and or two of them. All right. So yeah, so this was where this was done. But notice how they're saying with this young man. He was discharged. No date. Discharge. He has. If you get hold of me, this I had a couple of DIs 15 years ago. And if I do something heinous, they're going to bring that up. He's a menace. Oh yeah, you got it right, sweetheart. You keep asking us questions. Those questions are relevant because I talked to some people earlier today, and a lot of people have different opinions on it, and I respect that. And like I say again, it's not to take away from the people who have got injured and have got their life taken away. Because this gentleman, I believe, will be going to jail for the rest of his life. But I'm looking at, we talk about the mayor of the city of Atlanta. He says, Atlanta. He says, Atlanta, sorry. He says, we have to start dealing with gun violence and mental health. All right, let's just get this. Let's go. Here we go.
Associated Press reports his mother, Deion Patterson, says her son had begun taking medication he'd gotten from the Veterans Affairs health system. She says he had, quote, some mental instability going on from that medication. She says her son wanted a drug called Ativan to deal with anxiety and depression, but she says the VA would not give it to him because it would be, quote, too addicting.
All right, so we'll move on with that. So Ativan, let's get you over to the screen here. Man, I don't even have it up here. Struggle streaming. Well, my stuff crashed down, but let's get you onto the screen here because I want you to understand exactly what Ativan is supposed to be for and what it's supposed to be about. And I'll give you my take on and so as you can see, this is going to be from drugs.com. I just want to check these guys out. I'm not 100% sure of them, but here we go. Ativan, let's just press this, right? All right, so okay, so it is taken and to help certain mental disorders, anxiety disorders, as you can see, it's on here. Ativan is prescribed, but if you look at the warning down here, it can be very addictive. You can overdose or die from taking that medication. Now, I would say this while I'm talking about this is that when I go to the doctor, and I want you guys to understand this period, when you go to a doctor, they are going to, well, especially the VA, they're going to give you a medication that's on the lower ring of all the other options that you have to take because they want to see if those are going to help you first. Like, for example, I take gabapentin for my nerve issues, right? So when I take these gabapentins, they're starting me off on these because they're not considered a drug that's going to have me. I can take them pretty much on an empty stomach, kind of, sort of. Okay. So the thing is, when you take the VA is not going to outright something to that strength, but it's really curious how he probably maybe had it before, or, I mean, because how would he know about this? I mean, was he doing the homework for that and want that? Did he have it before? Did they think it was too much for him? Did he hear about it somewhere? Why was he not giving the rest of the medication? Let's finish this one here because I want you to hear what his mother has to say. And I think what she has to say is very, very important. Okay, so here we go. Let's finish this one here.
The Coast Guard put out a release saying it's aware of the allegations against Patterson. Quote, our Pacific's with the families. The Coast Guard Investigative Service is working closely with the Atlanta Police Department and local authorities in the investigation. Now, Patterson has had previous arrests. The Henry County Sheriff's Department says Patterson was charged twice for probation violations in 2017. He was also arrested in 2015 for possession of less than an ounce of marijuana. We're live at the Fulton County Jail.
Less than an ounce of marijuana, and I guess in 2015, it probably, I don't know, is it I hear it's not legal to smoke marijuana in Atlanta. So if I'm getting that wrong, you guys get me on point. So now, back from her, what I say. Here we go. Check this one out.
Honestly, the position of being a mother and having your son be suspected of doing something this terrible is something that is incredibly difficult to deal with. I spoke to her on the phone a little over an hour ago in the Atlanta News First newsroom. She was timid, as you could imagine, but at the same time, I asked her specifically, I said, if you had an opportunity to speak to all of Atlanta tonight in regards to what happened today, what would you say? She hesitated for a moment, took a deep breath, and then said this. Take a listen.
First and foremost, I want to give my sincere apologies to the families that were injured and killed. And even in his time of need, he was still trying to help others. That's just the person he's always been. A happy, beautiful child. Always. Even up until just he doesn't know. He doesn't know right now. This mental illness is real. And when we say it's real, from the medical standpoint, it is real. And when somebody is saying they need help, or you see that they're acting out of sorts, they need help. Help them. Just don't disregard them. They need help. And as I'm trying to advocate for my son, he was turned away. Just be careful and
A medical emergency, a mental health emergency is the way that Mrs. Patterson described today. She said she does not recognize that manner, and she says now it's a process of moving forward as a family and continuing to show as much respect as possible to the families of those victims affected. A lot more to come from there.
All right, so this is like, and you're hearing from this young man's mother. When we, and this, what I say is, what interests me about it is that when we look at this issue, and now you guys know me, I talk about mental health issues a lot on my channel, and it's like, so how can we do something to help help one another to where we don't have to hopefully, because this is on every side, and we're going through a lot. I want you guys to look at this. Let me show you this here. And so when I go and look at this particular page here, and this is from the VA hospital. Now, I want you to understand this, because we talk about with the VA hospital. Now, when I was looking at this particular information, find how to access mental health for service pandemics. What I want you to understand here, post-traumatic stress disorder. I want you to understand how you can go and get help. Now, for the people who have loved ones, family members, if you're seeing signs of this, I know it's hard. Please believe me. I was in the field of suffering for almost 15 years before I kind of, and I was looking for every avenue. So we're hopefully that, we're looking for an avenue to get out of the situation that we are in so we don't find ourselves in a situation like this young brother uh, who is going to be spending the rest of his life in jail, unfortunately. So, I'm gonna stay on top of this because I'm telling you guys this, and we talk about this, and let's just go out of mental health for a minute. Let's just go out of mental health for a minute, and let's go to this point here. When people came in the military, and there's people to this day, my good friend Vanessa Kitty, my wing woman, my man First Magnum. You hear from him, tell him to get a hold of me. More off the top of it, who are still trying to fight and get help through the system so they can be taken care of legitimately. Yes, you're right. Mental health has an illness that might might walk free. Yes, he has a mental health issue, so he might walk free. No, he's going to still be held accountable. The only thing I would say this, Luscious, you're right. Hey, Patty J's in the house too. Salute to my girlfriend Patty J. Welcome. Good to see you. But you're right, Luscious. You would think, but at the minimum, and this is just my speculation, they're going to put him in a mental health ward, and he's going to spend years there. And see, the thing is, the VA has said this. I don't know if I have it in one of the reports here. Let me see here. Hopefully, let me see. Okay, no, that one's done. Let's see. Maybe it's this one.
Some of the false statements being made about her son. She spoke exclusively to Fox
Listen
5
to this
afternoon.
Fox 5's Denise Dillon is live in Conyers. And Denise, what did you hear about from the mother?
Well, as you know, this is a national story. And Mignon, there's a lot being said, but not enough truth. As she also said that as the mother of Deion Patterson, she had to be his advocate. So that's why she wanted to talk. And she stood with her daughter, both of them holding photos of Deion Patterson. Mrs. Patterson told me there are a lot of false statements being made about why he was at the doctor's office Wednesday. While she wouldn't go into the reason why he was there, she says he has mental health issues.
All right.
My son, Deion Patterson, has an affliction with mental illness. And mental health illness is a very disgusting disease that isn't widely discussed. It's not talked about. Everyone hides from it.
Patterson expressed her condolences to the family of Amy St. Pierre, the woman who was killed in the shooting, and sent prayers to the other 4 women who were rushed to the hospital.
I want to give my sincere and deepest condolences and prayers to any and every family that was affected by the situation.
And told me that she and her family have been receiving death threats right now.
That's the kind of bull I don't support. You got a family, and I think she looks very sincere about what her message is, and I will support on the mental health issue. And that's just like I say, because look, I've walked that walk. I've been through it. I'm not out of it. I've been through it, still going through it. And, your family suffers from that. Your friends suffer from that. Or your loved ones suffer from that because they're trying to hang and deal with what you're going through. And I have to show respect a lot. My ex-girlfriend, Wondering, respect. And it's, no sleep, agitated, irritated. My family, my mom, even my best friend, Patty J. They see me walk through a lot. But the thing is, I'm trying to get on a path of trying to be better. And the thing is, to call somebody's family and threaten them because of, I understand the hurt and the pain. Mental illness is no joke. We got kids in here shooting up churches and with people in it, schools. And so we have to address this. And since this gentleman is a veteran of the Coast Guard, I have just really seen how the news has been handling it. This is one of the better reports. The first one you saw, they were, he was, and still you haven't heard anybody say that he was honorably discharged. And he had to be honorably discharged, but we're going to say if he wasn't honorably discharged, they would have been saying he's dishonorably discharged because they're bringing up cases that he had, like for carrying marijuana and missing a parole date. Now his parole wasn't that serious. Because I'm sure they would have mentioned that. His parole, if he was a person who assaulted somebody and he was on parole, they would have been saying, well, he assaulted somebody in his other charge, but you didn't hear none of that. And you didn't hear that concerning this parole. You didn't hear nothing concerning his, and so this is what I'm saying. Getting your mind fed to the right thing is that they're going to talk, the news, and they do it up here saying the same thing. I'm not going to blast all that. I'm just, but I don't care what side of the fence you're on. If you're going to give the report, come on. So now, and then you get people calling the house giving this woman and her daughter death threats because of this young man who's suffering from mental illness, did something really egregious. Okay. It's just what it is. And he's going to jail for the rest of his life. And one way or the other, he's watch and see what I say. And I'm hoping I'm wrong. Okay. But when you're going to give a report, come on. Okay. So now when we talk about this mental health, now this is the thing. I want you guys to understand this. Let me get over here to what I'm talking about here. Is when I'm talking to you, I'm not talking at you. I want you to understand this is something that you have an opportunity or a way to control. And some of us were suffering. And the people around you, please. Let me get my man. This when it comes, very good. That's a very good statement. And that's the point that people. Please believe me, I had to look it up, and I was looking at it to the point too where if people are getting charged with felonies, can they get seen? But here we go. Let me show you guys this here. So check it out. Okay, so now we're at the VA. This is at the VA website. So if you go to va.gov, you get this this particular information, and I want you to go through this. So how do I talk to someone right now? All right, so if you need to talk to somebody right now, there's a crisis line, and you can dial the let me see, hopefully you guys can see this. If you're having trouble seeing it, let me know. 988 is a number you can call. Also, whatever state that you are in, you can look at your crisis hotline for that. You can start a confidential chat. I want you guys to go and check on that. I would click, let me see. Let me just do some of the footwork for you guys here. So if you're going to start a confidential chat, let's see what it takes us to over here. All right. And this crisis hotline is a place. Please check it out. And this is what I say too. Now, fairness is that if you see somebody in your family suffering from mental, it's how do you go about that? I would say this, and I haven't did this, but I tell you what, the next time we're up online, I'm going to try to come up early, and I'm going to call this number here, and I'm going to talk to them and ask them. I'm going to let them know you're on my YouTube channel, boom, blah, blah, blah. Can we get this conversation? If not, we're going to find out. It's confidential, but we're going to ask what are they looking for us, and what would they like for us to to present to them. So it's 7 days a week. What to expect if you're a veteran in crisis, concerned about one crisis that is available 24/7 days a week, 24/7 hours, 7 days a week, 24/7. All right, I'm going to get back to this veteran page because I don't want to lose perspective, but I want you guys to know you can go to this channel. So let's go back over here in the crisis hotline. Please remember that. You can text them as well. All right, let me go back. And what I want you to look at is exactly what Che Moss Farmer was saying. Can you get the help that you need? Okay, so if you need specific mental health, if you need support with a specific mental health problem, are you having problems sleeping or controlling your anger or adjusting to civilian life? And these things are really very important with controlling your anger and sleeping. If you notice your loved ones are not sleeping well, and that's what I suffer from too, is a sleeping disorder. It can really wear you down and make you become agitated, irritated. Now, let me say this because I didn't say this before, okay, is that I am not a clinical psychiatrist. I do not claim to be, nor do I play one on TV. All right. So this is coming from my perspectives. And I'm telling you, because I walked the walk for 15 years and it was nerve-wracking. I couldn't understand how to get to solutions to where I can be functionable, where I wouldn't be irritated. Now, let me tell you this. I'm a martial artist. I can take care of myself. When you start that, you're a badass. And my thing is this, people are going to get mad. When you don't have a gun, you're able to talk things more reasonably sometime. When you have a gun, you're making a profound statement that you're about to get off in somebody's ass playing with you. All right. Okay, let me get back to this here because we got to answer the question here. Okay, how do I schedule an appointment? I want to get to this. Let's see. Hard to get via facilities. It was one in here, and it did talk about this, and I want to address that because that was a very good question that was asked. Let me see, and I think it probably was. Let me see, connecting to mental health, no matter where the discharge says. Okay, getting connected with mental health care, no matter your discharge status or service history are eligible for VA health care. Okay, and this is true. So because the mental health care has become an issue, a very serious issue in the United States here. So let's see. Getting connected with VA health care. If you need support with mental health, with the mental health problems, are you having problems sleeping and controlling your anger or just, we talked about that. Okay. Let me see. To access to a VA medical system, you can call or walk into any vehicle time, day or night. Now, if you go in after the hours, they're going to put you to an emergency room or a room to where they can hopefully find out what you're going through and how they need to help you. If you're violent, severely violent, yeah, they're going to have to restrain you in one way or the other. Because they're not going to allow you to hurt yourself or anyone else. Okay, you can call and walk into a vet. Do you need to enroll in any VA healthcare systems? Well, do you need to enroll in VA healthcare to get care and learn more about it? Let's see. Let's go. Let's check it out because we need to know all the particulars so we can get you going here. And I think it's kicked us back to the original place. Schedule my appointment, the nearest facility. Yes, it kicked us back. It looped us. It looped me. So wow. You can give you a health income here day or night. Yeah, we talked about that. We went through that, and I know it's in here somewhere. But you do not have to be service connected. If you are out of the military, if you get a dishonorable discharge, they can help you. And it's actually, I read it in here because they can provide you up to 90 days of health care to come in here. Let's see. And we just run through this again. So let's see. We're going to make sure we walk in here. Can I walk in, find your nearest facility, find out your nearest health care, learn more. We went there. Department of Defense. Okay. We went there, getting started. We went there. Okay. So actually, the thing is, and we're going to talk about this, so we're going to find this out most because I want to show you. We got to put this in black and white, and I don't want you just going off of what I'm telling you. What if I'm not sure what kind of help I need? Put you there. It's hard for me to get to a VA facility. We talked about that. And if you need a VA facility, like I said, go and look this up because they do have access buses to take you to the VA. All right, to the VA hospital. And this is one of the things is saying, yes, you may be eligible to use one or more of the healthcare options listed below. It's hard for me to get there in person. So, of course, and this is what they do, period. They will put you in a Zoom class if you have a computer or whatever. If you have a computer, and sometimes you can go to the county library and log on for your appointment if you want to do a Zoom face-to-face, but talk to your people at your county library and see if that's available. But they do have classes, and I will tell you, these classes are important because you'll find people who are having some of the same issues that you may be having. And you can have, when you have somebody that can relate to you, that's very important. And they can relate to you and they can understand what you're going through. And how, and it can, you go, well, I'm having the same problem. Well, how do you deal with that? Well, I deal with it like this. And it's so interesting to talk. And that's what I had to, I didn't have to, I volunteered to go through. And it's like every week, 1 day a week for a month. For 6 weeks, and you get to talk, and they give you little exercises to go through. How can you do things better? How can you relieve yourself from these tensions and everything like that? So go to this site. Can I speak to a fellow veteran about my thoughts before this? Yes, you can always speak to a fellow veteran about your thoughts before going through anything like that. And that's one of the reasons I'm here, because I've been there, went through it. And I want to tell you, kind of like giving you a forecast. And I went through this. It was less than 10 years, less than 8 years, I'm sure. But I went through this. And let me see. You can get a coach. And what the thing is, and where can I find this again? Okay. Here we go. Can I speak to a fellow veteran? What other options do I have? If you are a combat veteran, this is some of the options you have. Now let's go down to where, if you were not, let me see if other options, if you are a combat veteran, you can visit the vet center. Let me tell you, if you've been through anything like this, things, sexual, traumatic situations, readjusting to civilian life, going through grief, you are, upset about anything, because when you get out, let me tell you guys, when you get out of the military, all the privileges you had coming on post and all the people who you were around, you build a camaraderie. Now you're out, and these guys are moving on with some of their lives if they got out or they're still in, and you are in your state. Back in my day, they didn't have it where you can go and prep for going to school and using what your job related stuff is, so you can apply that to your outside world and get a job, and you won't be going out into the world by yourself. You have no more the privileges on post, and then you have to adjust to a civilian system. All right, so pay attention to those things, guys, and ladies, and even the guys. Okay, pay attention to these things. Oh, here we go. Okay, so this is what I say. I think hopefully it has it here. How long mental health problems VA do they treat? Let me see. Let's get into this. Will I use mental health service or the VA to put it into my career? Now, will mental health service, will using mental health services at the VA put my career at risk? Now, yes and no. Yes, if you are trying to go for a police officer job, anything that has to do in law enforcement, if you have a mental health issue, that will probably impede upon your job. All right. Now, not every job you have to worry about putting it in here. And I would just tell you that we can open it up. But I know this because um, once I worked in law enforcement for a while, and then after a while, I couldn't do it no more. And boom, there goes once you have once. So look at it like this. If you have a mental health issue, right? And who's going to trust you with a gun? And out in the civilian world with a gun with mental health issues, right? We're already talking about this now, and we're trying to get on top of this as a country. All right. So just think about that. Okay. Do I need to be enrolled in VA to get a mental health care? All right, let's look at this. I think this is one of the things here. No, you do not have to qualify for the VA health care. You still may be eligible for certain health care services, like care for needs linking to military sexual trauma. Okay, those is one of the things as well. And that's a mental thing. So that's a mental thing. And so you have to be aware of those things and understanding, ladies, if you have experienced that and it's causing you to step off from relationships or whatever. Now, full disclosure, I'm not telling you this so you can find a way to get over on the government. No, we don't need you playing with that because life is tough already. And for you to have to play with fraud, you don't want to do that. It's just too much to be putting up with. But I'm telling you this, if you have suffered from it, and this is at the same time, I don't want you to be afraid and go, well, did this really happen to me? Or it's just my figment of my imagination? You can go to the VA and talk to some people. Okay. Now, are all doctors cool, good? I can tell you yes, because I don't know all doctors. My doctors are pretty cool. Dr. Sen, respect. Shouts out to you, my brother. He's one of the coolest primary care doctors. Now, this is how you're going to rock if you haven't been to the VA. And if you have, your primary care doctor will be seeing you. In the VA, I think it's probably almost every 3 months after they get you stabilized, whether you need medications or whatever. But they will be seeing you. Okay. And the thing is, when you talk to your primary care doctor, you need to let him know your concerns. All right. And he should be taking due notice thereof and govern himself accordingly. Hold the phone here. You know me, guys. I got lock and load another beer. But let me see here. I gotta check on my doggy. Make sure he ate. Okay, but this is the thing. So okay, sexual trauma. Okay. And I'll use that, guys, because we use great. You can just say sexual trauma. And medical term, so and that's what they use at the VA. They get me. Okay, you can say depending on your needs and your situation, you can also get free private counseling, alcohol, drug assessments, and other support for combat veterans. All right. Now the question is a dishonorable discharge? Can you get this? And then we're supposed to be. I'm hopefully getting. Allow you up to 90 help, and it depends on it whether you can go longer than 90 days. Okay, contact your national call center for homeless veterans. Call this number here for mental health. And so I would say that, guys, is this. Let me see if we're going to get to this. I'm a National Guard, Reserves. Am I eligible for VA? National Guards and Reserves are definitely eligible for VA health care. Okay. Coast Guard's the same thing. You're eligible for that. Here's a number you can call and get that information. They got an East Coast time that's here, but if you're on the West Coast like I am, I'd still say business hours. Just look at those, and you can call this number. But West Coast, East Coast, yeah. But be aware. Or how long to us. Same day services, you will get help. Okay. When you call, and definitely on the severity of your situation, you will be getting help. Okay. Now, this is the va.gov. Now, this is what I want from you guys too. Okay. What medical treatment problem, what mental health problems does the VA treat? Geez, I would say pretty much the gang of them here. So let's look at this: post-traumatic stress syndrome, depression, thoughts of taking yourself out, self-deletion, issues related to military sexual trauma, SMT. Okay, so that about that, substance problems, bipolar disorder, and what is this what is it? Come on, guys, what is this? Let me do it here then, and we're gonna break it down. So I'm not gonna play doctor here. Here we go. Learn something new, right? Schizophrenia. I didn't know how to spell that. Shows you where I am. Okay. And so they also treat other disorders as well. Okay. So even if you got out, now let me tell you this. The reason why I say this too is when you get out, being overwhelmed by, boom, don't have a job, got to get a job. And this is why, if you look at some videos I have earlier, I want you to start preparing. If you're not going to do 20 years, even if you're going to do 20 years, start preparing a year before you are going to get out. Start looking at it. And now I want you guys to understand this. This is hard for infantry people because you're constantly in the field. Instead of out in the field, it's going to be kind of a hard road. This stupid internet is just killing me softly. Does it even medical health resources for family, friends? And let me see here. Yes, additional things. So if your wife, who's been rocking with you through the military, is going through working with you, she's going to actually get a little taste of the little, unfortunately, some of the PTSD and the stress of dealing with that and how to deal with that. And much respect to all the spouses, male, females, and whatever, that was going through this, because it's going to require a lot of help. Okay, veteran service members, I still haven't got the answer to the question, community health. It is in here. And where did I see this? Let me see. We're going to go back a page and see if it's going to bring me to these questions that were actually put here. And let's see here. Now, believe me, guys and girls, I do jump on here and we'll do a Google search, because we need to make sure the information that's coming to you is correct. And I'm trying to make sure it's on time. But my thing was not really to just address this young man who did the crime that he did. It was address mental health and how I didn't appreciate how the news was just glazing over this. And they were saying stuff like he was in the military and he was discharged. Well, was he honorably discharged? And I believe that he was, because he's getting help through the VA. And so I'm concerned because the VA says this. The VA says, they say, and what is rightfully right that they should say is, this is a personal issue. This is the person's medical records, and we're not obliged to give out people's personal medical information, which has been true for a long time and should stand true. The investigation comes. Now, I want you to understand this. This is my take on it. The police are going to get access to those medical records. Once they get access to it, I guarantee you that they won't expound on it, because they have to be very extra careful about putting this gentleman's personal issues out. Now, when will it come to fruition? Is when he goes to court, when he has an attorney. Now, that's what I want to see is going to be interesting, because is the attorney, and hopefully he's not a public pretender. A public defender. I don't know if he's going to get a person who's going to have enough status, weight, or clout to help say, yeah, no, he was taking this medication to the VA, and the VA stopped, because now the VA is a powerful force. They're like, look, if you come at the VA talking smack, you better have a good attorney, because the VA is going to have a grip of attorneys, because if it is proven that the VA did not take care of this man, the responsibility that he was supposed to get, then there's a major lawsuit coming from the mom, right? And now, will it help his case? No, it will help it. I would say yes and no. And I'm not an attorney, nor do I play one on TV. All right. I'm saying that if he has, it brings it to fruition. The fact is, he did kill somebody. Right. So when was he in his right mind, wrong mind? And this is going to be an exercise for the attorneys. And I'm sure they're already ready for this, because of all the other shootings in the United States. A lot of these attorneys are pretty much aware of some of the things that they're going to be approached with. All right. So I would say this: mental health is no joke. Get with it. As far as this, how did anybody help me? I think I hurt more people than I hurt than I used to get out and go for a walk, and that walk would turn into a 30-mile walk because I was so pissed off. And so, it's in rocking with people, like this. And I would say this, and it's I know it's going to piss some people off, because it is what it is. I was a gun owner. I stopped because of my depression. I felt that I was going to be hurting somebody, but at most hurting myself, and at most too hurting the people who love me. So I didn't carry a weapon, didn't want a weapon. I thought I was so bad that I didn't need a weapon. Now that's when you really lost your rabbit. Okay. So how do I deal with that? I'm telling you, I went to church after church after church. I mean, I went to different denominations. I went to those, and for me, and just me, when I started meditating, I went to a thing. Oprah Winfrey mentioned it on it, and my ex-girlfriend turned me onto it, and it was called Vipassana meditation. And it was 13 days, and it was leaving you with your thoughts. And please believe me, some people couldn't do it. Take a break. My good friend Luscious Journey, she reminds me of that when she was going through whatever her situation is. I know I'm talking about it. She took a break. She stepped back. She relaxed, and she started breathing, and she started getting out of the rat race. And this is why I do videos the way I do them, honestly, guys. Is because it takes a production team, and for the people who do it good and who's making it, and the people I bless your beautiful hearts. God bless you. And I'm always going to come up to your page and support you with my little $5 or $10. But I love you, and I appreciate you guys who go through that. Thinking of even my girl Mashawn Luscious. She's doing her thing, and she does it just right. She just keeps it real. My man Sir Hell, Suzette Speaks, blowing up. The TLA, much respect, blowing up. I miss my man Frank Gooden. I know he's doing good out there. But I have a lot of respect for the people who just say, this is what, I don't want to do this. It takes a lot. And so, let's get back to this. When you are seeing, I would say this, and like it was said on here, a pattern of not sleeping, frustrated all the time, irritated. I want to be left alone. You have to please pay attention to those things. I cannot tell you how to confront those things or combat those things. I would say be cautious, but talk to some people, and hopefully, let me say this to all the veterans out there or anybody else who's suffering with mental health. Fight as hard as you can to seek peace. Understand the people around you who are your loved ones love you, and try to seek peace and serenity for them as well. And so that is too, is that you are seeking inner peace. And when they see that, it makes them happy. Please believe me. And do me a favor too. If you're suffering from mental health or not, when you look in that mirror, look at that person and tell that person you love them, that you love that person. Be sincere about that. Find the good in you. The good in you is that you are alive and you have options to be better every day. So fight for that. That is so important. A lot of people won't tell you that. Our bubbles get smaller and smaller because sometimes we have the right to feel that we are in a divisive country right now. And I believe I'm going to stay optimistic that it's going to get better. And you know how it's going to get better? One person at a time. And it starts with you. Respect to Michael Jackson. I'm looking at the man in the mirror, right? So keep yourself on point with that. And I would tell you, I promise you, you're going to feel better because look, I tell myself this. There's no such thing as perfect, but I am trying to be the better me that I can each day. And I know I'm going to slip and fall, but it's picking myself up, getting back. And I would say this, die trying than just give up. That's not an option. And I would say that for each and every one of you, that's not an option. You don't give up on this precious life that is you. The one thing I really enjoy is I look around and I see people who don't dress like me, some don't look like me, and some who do, same skin color, they don't dress like me. I have earrings in both ears. I see cats older than me with earrings in their ears. And I just look and see, people trying to rock themselves and just be harmony with yourself. If you want to make this planet a better place, be a better person for yourself and for the people who love you. Let me tell you, I don't have much people who I call friends. And I guarantee you can count them on one hand and take away a lot of fingers. But happy with who you are. And when we see things like this news thing here, back up, pump your brakes. Let me see. That's why I said
accused gunman Patterson was a member of.
And this is what I say when people want to say things about you. Now, like I say, I'm not saying this man is not wrong. He is wrong for what he did. Mentally, he's the kid who went to the church and shot these black people in the church while they were praying. What they're saying about this young man, military, yeah, he did this, he got discharged, and it seems like, he got kicked out. And that's what I say, when people want to tell the story about you, and I props to his mother who came up and said, we got to set this straight because you guys, I was looking at this and I'm like, wait a minute, military discharge. Well, was he honorably? Oh, he has prior records. Okay. And what does it have to do with this here? He had weed on him. Dude, I have weed on me right now. And it's less than, they say it's less than this, so it wasn't enough, I guess it was enough to arrest him. I don't know what the amount is these days that you can carry. Yeah, and you can't carry nothing in Atlanta, so you're gonna get arrested. Really? I keep freezing. I'm still freezing. I'm looking at this gosh darn internet, and I'm looking at this going, why am I having these problems today? That's because I want to go live and give you guys some information, and I see that my my Wi-Fi is low here, so it's what's going on. I don't get it, and I'm connected well, so hopefully, well, we'll keep chugging through, and hopefully you guys can still hear me. So it's about an hour, and I'm gonna get off here because this thing is really it's pissing me off. And that's another thing. Learn to laugh at yourself. You'll be better off. Learn to laugh at yourself here. But listen to this. This one, it just really irritates me that they are putting shit on, and they're not saying nothing. That they're leaving you to speculate. Oh, well, he was in the military and he got discharged. And I'm like, okay, well, what was it? How did he get discharged? And most people will go, if they're not military orientated, they will go, he got discharged. They didn't say military, so honorable, so it must be dishonorable. But they put themselves in the way. So here we go.
Tonight, we're learning more about the accused gunman. Patterson was a member of the U.S. Coast Guard until recently.
Fox 5's Christopher King joins us live tonight from the Fulton County Jail, where Patterson is expected to arrive sometime tonight. Christopher, documents show he's had previous run-ins with the law.
Whoa, right? He's a habitual.
That's right, Russ and Christine and Deion Patterson.
Now, when he passes to him, you notice he don't mention none of that shit until towards the end of the whole conversation that he's having right here. Check it out.
Right here at the Fulton County Jail, Patterson was, of course, a member of the Coast Guard until recently. Authorities say he's also had previous run-ins with
the laws. The hell?
The Coast Guard confirmed Deion Patterson entered the service in July 2018.
Now, this is what I say, and this is what I'm talking about. Don't let people tell your story. You tell your story. If you've been through the mental health situation, stop being embarrassed. Go get yourself together. Just face plastic surgery, and I'm not knocking it. Hey, props to the people who want to do that. My thing is that what's inside you will surely come to surface. Some hold out until almost they're passed away, but it'll surely come to surface. Being so hardcore, seek professional help. If you are having a hospital, it's how can I tell you get around that? You can always ask for another doctor, that's for sure. Do your research, and I would say this too. When asking for help, you get more bees with honey than salt. All right. So don't go in and start nutting up and going off on people, because it's going to put you in a situation where people are like, you know what? I'm glad he's your patient and not mine. And their expectations is just like this news is saying. They're going to put this jacket on you. Unfortunately, you would do it too. Unfortunately, this jacket on somebody to say, yeah, this person is, seriously out there. And if you are, okay, cool, get help for it. I'd rather for you to go in there and get help than put yourself in the position like this young man is in, and like a few other young men before him. I'm covering this gentleman because he was in the Coast Guard. And I want you guys to know, Coast Guard, you can get help as well. National Guards and Reserves as well. Get that help, okay? and do not put yourself in a position to where you're going to find yourself incarcerated for the rest of your life. You don't need that stress. You don't. All right. So, be cool with that. All right. I'm going to pop up another one here. We're going to get off of that and we're going to go to the VSO. Okay. So I got to let you guys know about the VSO. Let's get excited about this for a second here. What's it? Unified Service Organization. This is a thing that Bob Hope used. You always hear him. He used to do the services for the VSO, and so I started volunteering my time. I might go there tomorrow. I know they may need help, but I wanted to make sure I give you guys some information. But the USO is for active duty, reserves, National Guards, Coast Guards. In Seattle, Sea-Tac, Washington, you can come in there as a reserve. Let me talk to you while I'm showing you this video. And hopefully I'm going to turn this volume down. Okay, this is coming into our front door here. This wood floor was actually on the battleship. I think I was showing that earlier. All the food in here for you guys are free. This is the battleship, the USS Oklahoma, I think it is. This battleship here, Colorado, longer than two boy. And so they donated it here to the USO. Right off Seattle. But that's floor here. All these pants was put on here. That was the deck, so it's on the floor here. We give you guys plenty of food, sodas. This is where we store all your luggage. Okay, so let me pause this. And what this is, when you come in, when you're in the airport, you guys know how it is traveling, and you got to wait between flights. You got to tote your luggage with you. You got to sit it down. You can't leave it unattended. You want to get something to eat. You got to drag it to the table while you're at the restaurant there. And when you got to do all that, this stuff gets tiring. And then if you got kids with it as well, oh my God. Now, I'm going to tell you this. You want to see somebody who's good at juggling kids and doing a multi-jobs, and who's hardcore? That's my girl, Luscious Journey. You go watch her channel. She rocks. That's my baby there. That's my sister there. Okay, but here we go. So when you come in, I'll just give you this caveat. We offer you a place to put your luggage. This is the brick wall. You can buy bricks to help pay for it, donate, and you put your stuff up there. I think that started from Pioneers, Pike Place Market. But this is the eating area. I'm sorry going it over so fast. They make hot dogs, sandwiches. This is still part of the floor there. We got the lazy boy recliners, and you got flat TVs. So if you are active duty, reserves, and retired, but you have to be on a mission going somewhere. You can't be there and you're going to have a hotel room and store your luggage there. You have to take your luggage with you. There are certain rules and certain things, but definitely check and see when we are open. When we're open, I usually try to work Monday, Wednesday, Saturdays. But I'm trying to just do once a week because it takes a lot out of me to do a lot more stuff than this. And I got a lot more things cooking right now, guys and girls. And we will definitely talk about them because we are still talking about the VA stuff here. Okay, so these are lazy boy recliners were donated to the place here. There's sleeping quarters back here. And the bunks were donated from the Navy. These are Navy sleeping bunks. Let me see if I can get a focus on that. There we go. And you can there about 4 hours, get you a cat nap. And what it is, being in a place that your luggage is secure and you can lay your head down and don't have to worry about nothing for the next few hours before you have to go off to your services. But we also, all these lazy boys here, we also offer computers over there to the left. Straight ahead, you got phone chargers, all that stuff. You got a massage chair as well when you're in there. And also, for the mothers and everything, straight ahead, this glass wall here we just passed, it is for the kids. Once they have a pen, you can put the the little toddler in or whatever, the little baby, and they can be in that little pen. And I seen the mothers come in there and the mothers rack out and get some sleep. It's a quiet place. You have the lights off. You can see the pens here. Come on, focus, focus, focus. But you can see the playpen, all that. So if you're at Sea-Tac and you know people who are active duty, please send them that way. I started volunteering to work with these guys because I do a lot of talking with the vets, and I talk with the vets and everybody's retired, and I don't talk with enough of the active duty personnel to see what's really going on and how they're doing things. And I would have to say this, and I want each and every one of you support about this. I ran into a young serviceman, and then this is like the fourth time I ran into this. They would fly them into Sea-Tac and tell them you have to report to Fort Lewis, Joint McCord over there, and there's no shuttle to take them to there. So this enlisted person has to come out of their wallet for $100 for Uber to get from there, through Sea-Tac Airport to Fort Lewis, which is about an hour drive, right? Now, paying $100, and I had to let him know, you check with your immediate office, your immediate command, your section platoon or your platoon leader, and about a reimbursement. You should be, and you without a doubt be reimbursed for that. You pay for your travel to go to post. It is their job to get you there, and they have dropped the ball on that. And I'm going to scream until somebody else hears me on this. And guys, don't let this go, because look, when we did a USO, we're not a military operation. This is strictly volunteer stuff, and we are strictly volunteer. Here's a book rack coming out of there. We have restrooms for the ladies and the men's where you can take showers. We have towels, fresh towels for you. So why not stop into the USO? Okay. Oh, and around the corner here, we have where you can sign out for remote controls if you want to play video games. We have the video games as well. This is to the left on these big screen TVs. I'm sorry, I'm on my cell phone recording this. Okay, and then we also have a theater in the back. A lot of people come back here and they rack out. And this is what I mean. When you come and get off of your flight or your plane, if you ever traveled and you had a layover, good Lord, and don't have a 2-hour layover, then, you're sitting there and it's not quiet. You got to make sure your luggage is, nobody's messing with your luggage. I don't know what I was on. I turned this sideways so you can get another angle. So that was a mistake. So we'll stop that. That was a mistake going out. But I recommend that. And like I say, we started off talking about mental health and, trying to pay attention and see if you notice these things. And then on top of that is trying to get the help you need to take care of these situations. Again, go to va.gov or just type in the Google search and put veterans mental health. All right. In the veterans hospitals, they are several, we got over a gang of veterans who are being seen for mental health issues. And so we have to be aware of these things. And a lot of it comes from, like I said, post. And it doesn't mean that you have to be over dramatic, stress syndrome. All right. You can get that. And like we're saying, sexual trauma, that can play an issue into it when you're out of the military, coming from military to civilian life. Now you're dropped off in the middle and you don't know what to do, how to do what, how to get a job, and you can be stressing. So the thing is, pay attention to your loved ones, and the people who are stressing, do your loved ones a favor and be vulnerable to the point to where you want to get help, not vulnerable where you can be ridiculed and talked about. That's bullcrap. And for anybody that does that, I give you 4 fingers up -3. All right. So knock it off. If you're not going to help, shut up. Okay. Your job is to help. And that's why I say on my channel, you will not be getting dissed on here. You will not be getting talked about on here. But at the same time, keep your personal information close to your vest. You can use hypotheticals if you like. And if you want to talk, we can talk. But understand, I don't do personal consultations. I'm not a professional. I'm giving you things from my perspective. And that's where I want you to take it from. But I want you to understand some of us are experiencing the same thing. And Chess Moss Farmer asked a wonderful question. I probably still didn't answer it, but I seen it in here somewhere. And it said that we can, even if you're dishonorably discharged, you can get 90 days of help in order, to get you pointed in the right direction where you need to go. I can understand it. I think the 90 days probably could be taken out as longer than just that. I swear I thought I had it, and then I had my computer froze up, shut down on me, and all the other good stuff. But let me see, sexual trauma, abuse, explosion, women. Yeah, but look that up because it's 90 days. And if you know anybody, especially if they're a veteran, and if they're willing, say, hey, let's take you to the hospital, see if we can get you some help. And and for the patient, try. I know it's hard, but try because the best thing about being in America is we have options, and we have an option to do better. And I know we're in the situation, but I'm telling you, I went through it for almost 20 years without help, and it was painful. It was very painful. And I just want to thank all the people who are still rocking with me, who love me. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you. And for all you guys who subscribe to me and hit the like, I appreciate you very much so. And I'm still going to do my other channel, but I need to, because there's more topics I want to talk about, more than just my veteran topics. But the veteran topics are very important to me because I am a disabled veteran, and I have to go through this pretty much by myself and fight through this. I'm 100% disabled veteran. I suffer from mental illness as well. And this is one of the reasons I am not on here much, because I cannot acclimate myself to this just yet, because there's a lot of other things that I really would like to do and get done. I'm trying to work on my music and all that other stuff that I have. And I just got me a support cat. He's my dude. Shouts out to Ziggy. Shout out to Patty J for helping me get this little knucklehead. He keeps me on point. But I want to wish you guys nothing but the best of love. I'm going to come up here one day and stay for longer, but I haven't ate, and I just made some shredded taco meat in my Instapot. So I'm about to hook that tonight. I got my avocado, got my sour cream, cheese, chicken, and beans. It's going to be on. So I'm going to feed my little cat again. And me and him going to be sitting up like two cool fat cats. But I love you guys, and thank you so much for your love and support. I wish you guys nothing but the best. And always shout out to my everyone who has to do with active duty, veterans and retired spouses, children. You only to help you, but your life is here. You are fearfully and wonderfully made in His image, of your particular supreme being. So just don't give up, all right, and keep fighting. And check out some of these guys who come up here. I mean, especially who are into the farming or into the gardening. Please go to their channel, because they give you food for the soul and your mind. And what I mean is, like watching this news channel, they give you stuff that makes you have to question a lot of things. Well, when you talk to these people who are growing vegetables, fruits, doing their stuff like Luscious, Moss Farmer, did you, and even Patty J, she's on a low profile. It's a lot of skills, this lady. But the thing is, you're gonna learn, and what you learn is knowledge that you can instantly apply. And that's like how to grow. your vegetables, when it's the time to plant, when it's time to harvest, and you're going to get all that. And that's really so cool. And I think that's one of the things that feeds your soul and feeds your mind. It feeds your mind, it feeds your soul, and it feeds your spirit, and it feeds your body. That's a 3-in-1 right there. So you guys check those guys out. And I'm getting out of here. And I wish you guys nothing but the best of love, because my internet is acting super stupid and I got to eat. So much love. I appreciate you guys, and you guys keep rocking. Again, thank you for your love and your time, and I wish you nothing but the best. I am the Seattle Black Veteran. What you hear from me is from my opinion only. It is not an opinion of a professional, okay? So I wish you guys the best. I am doing everything I can to keep you guys in the loop. If there's any questions, please hit me up. I didn't put my email on here, and I do apologize for my thing here. Let me do it on the bottom here now. So I am at the Seattle Black Vet. You can hit me up there, and just hit me up, because I try to go and check out your comments too. And I need your comments on this, because not only does this young person was a military personnel, he was suffering mentally, and suffering mentally, I think, led him to his conclusion, what he ended up doing in Atlanta, Georgia, 3 or 4 days ago now. And so it's actually going to put him in jail for the rest of his life, I believe, and unfortunately. But we have to start paying attention to this. And the mayor of Atlanta said the same thing, is that we're going to have to really, as a nation, look at mental health and drug and gun violence. Okay. What's your guys' opinion? I'm not saying nothing about whatever. It is a constitutional right to own and bear arms. Was it the Second Amendment? So the question is, once you get a weapon, okay, this is what I had here. This is what I had. I live in a senior community. A gentleman came this is a year and a half or 2 years ago. He lived in a senior community with me. He lived across the street. This gentleman lived in a facility for about 6 or 7 months, I believe, before he jumped out a 5th floor window. Right. And he was in his late 70s. I jump out a 5th floor window, even in my late 50s. I ain't going to make it. It's going to be a lot of problems going on there. So that's what happened to him. So and we look at the young man, the young black kid who was on the porch of the gentleman at the wrong house to pick up his siblings, and he became extra paranoid. Said this kid looked 6 feet tall. He was a big black guy, and he shot him. All right. So where's the point where even having a weapon, do we have to get challenged as our mental ability? Should we have some mental challenge or a test or something like a driver's license every and we can't use driver's license because driver's license is a privilege, whereas having a weapon is a constitutional right. Okay. So we're not going to throw that out. Okay. But is there something that you can check and make sure somebody's mental? Get out of here, because you guys keep losing me. I keep freezing on this gosh darn thing here. My Wi-Fi, I don't know what's going on, but all right, we'll talk again tomorrow. Well, let me see, maybe Tuesday we'll have a conversation. Okay, love you guys very much. Thanks for keep rocking with the Black Veteran. I am David, the Seattle Black Veteran. I wish you guys nothing but the best of health, the best of wealth, and definitely humble and peaceful and serenity mind thought. Love you guys. I am out of here.